Thank you, Prabhuji, for accepting the request and coming all the way. Let us meet about him. He is the graduate, engineering graduate from IIM University, graduated in 2004. But since childhood, he has been spiritually oriented. And after graduation, worked for SCL, worked for Hewitt Associates. But 2010, he gave up that, and full time he is in the service of Lord Krishna. I requested him that to share his thought process and what message does this great epic has for a student like us. So, Prabhuji is all between you and the students. This is the first time we are offering, as you know. We are also experimenting, we are also learning. But your input would be very helpful in streamlining this particular course.
Hare Krishna, and very good morning, everyone. I am truly privileged that I am amongst all of you. You are top management brains of the country, and I am one small engineer before all of you, and speaking some sutras from the Bhagavad-Gita for good management, personal management, or some management which we are going to face in corporate life. So how to do management, and some management sutras as well as leadership sutras from the Bhagavad-Gita and as well as from Ramayana as well. We will try to extract some of the wisdom nuggets from both of these scriptures and few more as well. So that is an engineer addressing managers. So it's a very unique combination. But yes, I'm very fortunate today. So when the engineer and the manager, these two words they come to my mind. So one joke comes to my mind. Once there was one manager and he was flying high in a hydrogen balloon. So he lost his way. So as he lost his way, so there was one guy on the ground level. He asked, which place is that? So the person on the ground said, this is 36 degrees north and 116 degrees southwest. He said, thank you very much. Are you an engineer? He said, yes, I am an engineer. But how do you know that I am an engineer? So the person who was in the balloon, he said, because engineers give so much of information which is of no use. So you must be an engineer. So the engineer asked the person who was in balloon, he said, are you the manager? He said, yes, I am a manager. But how do you know that I am a manager? So the engineer said, because managers, they somehow reach up there, but they do not know what to do and where to go. So you must be a manager. So the point is that sometimes we are so much lost in our own worlds that it is hard to connect. But yes, today we have a common theme. A theme which is meant for everyone, which is the Bhagavad-Gita. And it's a manual of life. I don't call it a book of religion. It is those who are religious, those who are spiritually minded, for them it's a textbook. But yes, for those who want to live a happy life, a successful life in a real sense, for them also it's a great manual. Yeah. So I'm really grateful to Sunilji that he has started this course, because it is very important to extract this wisdom which is undiscovered. Yeah. As Isaac Newton used to say that when I see the discoveries which we have done, the scientists, I see myself like a boy who is playing on the seashore with pebbles, with ocean standing before me undiscovered. So that is, we can actually take so much of wisdom which is undiscovered and from these great manuals of life which are being presented to us by the Supreme Lord. Okay, so here's the topic, principles of ethics and morality in management from the Bhagavad-Gita. So I would like to know what is your expectation today, because it can be a culture shock for you. A person who is having a bald head in saffron, and here are some management students. So culturally, it may appear that we are diverse, we are diametrically opposite, nothing common in between us. So that is, I would like to know what is your expectation from today's session. Anyone would like to volunteer? No expectations? Selfless souls? I hope I am not making you feel fearful. Really, I am a harmless creature. I am a very harmless creature. I don't harm people, especially humans. I have a great respect for humans, so believe me, I will not harm you. Anyone would like to volunteer? What is the expectation? Yeah? Anyone?
So, if ever I am stuck in an ethical dilemma, how to move forward, or what is the right way to make a decision? So, if I can get some insights.
Yeah, ethical dilemma. It happens. To choose between good and bad, You can still choose good, it's easy. But sometimes you have to choose between good and good. And that brings dilemma. So that case certainly, so Bhagavad-Gita can really help us. That sometimes good can be bad and bad can be good. Yeah. So what makes things really good or really bad, that is also what we will discover in the coming session. Of course, we will try to. So principles of ethics and morality in management. So we move ahead. So some glories of the textbook which we all are carrying. So first we start from our glorious Prime Minister of India. He said, Narendra Modi, regarding Bhagavad-Gita, biggest gift that I can give and biggest gift the world can receive. Yeah. And whereas by Mahatma Gandhi used to say that when doubts haunt me, when disappointments stare me in the face and I see not one ray of hope on the horizon, I turn to Bhagavad-Gita and find a verse to comfort me. And I immediately begin to smile in the midst of overwhelming sorrow. Those who meditate on the Gita will derive fresh joy and new meanings from it every day. Similarly, Albert Einstein used to say that when I read the Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God created this universe, everything else seems so superfluous. And his one author and poet, Henry David Thoreau, he said that in the morning I bathe my intellect in the stupendous and cosmogonal philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, in comparison with which our modern world and its literature seem puny and trivial. And Prime Minister Nehru said the Bhagavad Gita deals essentially with a spiritual foundation of human existence. So these are some contemporary people who have praised Bhagavad Gita. And of course, Bhagavad Gita is glorified in all the scriptures. Like in Mahabharata also it is mentioned that if Mahabharata is like a river water, then the lotus in that river is Bhagavad Gita, is Mahabharata, and the fragrance which is coming out of this lotus is Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. And there are many bumblebees as well who are relishing the nectar of the fragrance of this lotus. And these bumblebees are the devotees of the Lord, the spiritualists, the intelligentsia. They relish it again and again and again. We may not relish any other mundane subject matter or a topic or a book, but one can read this book again and again and again and again. Like other education which we have done, once we are done with this and then we may sell our books. Like when I used to pass, and I hope many of us have done the same thing, that when we pass from 8th class to 9th class, what do we do with the 8th class books? Keep them, store them, frame them, admire them, meditate on them. Oh, we sell them to Kabadi wala. This is what I used to do. We sell them, get some money, and with that money, have some chowmin, have some samosa, have some pastry. In fact, the day I got my engineering degree and I got my job, I took all my engineering books, went to a place called Nai Sadak in Delhi, sold all the books for 850 rupees, and had a gala party in Govinda's restaurant. So that is, of course, that education is required, but we need a kind of education which we even repeatedly meditate on, contemplate on, and then further there is more and more chiseling and we become more and more beautiful. And Bhagavad Gita is like that. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita is like that. And Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita for all of us. Just like in a detergent powder advertisement. What happens? I take a shirt, here's a clean shirt, and then put a sausage, put some soil, make it really dirty. आइए अब इसको किसमें डुबोते हैं? Let's drown this shirt which is now contaminated by whom? By me, in surf excel, and then clean it for 5 minutes and then show that here is a neat and clean white sparkling white shirt, and it is advertisement of surf excel, right? Who made the shirt dirty? Me. Who cleaned it? Me. Through surf excel, right? Similarly, Lord, by his power, by his potency, he disillusioned Arjuna. He said, Arjuna, see, confused, stressed out Arjuna. Let's drown this Arjuna in the detergent powder of Bhagavad Gita. No. 45 minutes of conversation. And here comes Arjuna. Nashta moha smritir labdha. Clear? But this advertisement is for self-excel was not for this person, not for the shirt. It was for a common man. Similarly, Bhagavad-Gita was also spoken by Lord Krishna 5,000 years ago on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. For whom? For all of us. That's like when a new daughter-in-law and she comes to the new home. So mother-in-law may pass a taunt to the daughter. कि तेरे को अकल नहीं है, घर में क्या इतना मसालेदार खाना बनाते हैं? कहाँ है तेरी अकल? She scolds, she chastises the daughter. But actually, whom she is chastising? Whom? Huh? Is it a very difficult question? Daughter-in-law. Right? She is actually educating daughter-in-law through the doctor. When a press reporter goes to a doctor, sir, please tell us what are the cures, what are the precautions which a common man should take against chikungunya. And when the doctor explains, isn't the reporter suffering on chikungunya? But a common man. But for the common man. Similarly, Arjuna is asking questions from Lord Krishna. Not that he is an illusion, but he is asking on our behalf. He is our press reporter. So it is not that two friends are having a friendly conversation on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Okay, they had good time. Bye bye. It's not like that. So Bhagavad-Gita is a manual of life. Okay, and it has universal appeal. It is not. It's a book of the Hindus only, because the word Hindu is also not there in the entire Bhagavad-Gita. It talks about soul, and soul is in everyone, right? Yes, no? No, yes? Yeah. So Lord Krishna is addressing the soul. A body can be Hindu, a body can be Muslim, a body can be Christian, whatever. But the soul is beyond all that. And Lord is addressing the soul. So that way it is meant for everyone. Not just for Indians, not just for Hindus. It is meant for all the souls. Of course, the science of soul has been explained by Sunil in chapter 2. You all understand about soul? Soul क्या? Yes, no? No, yes? What is soul? That which is beneath the shoe. PVC का soul, leather का soul. Yes, no? No, yes? अच्छा, are all of you body or are all of you soul? You know, once Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he visited one mental asylum and he asked the doctor, इनमें से सबसे कम हानिकारक पागल कौन सा है? So doctor indicated the one who is sitting on that side, that person is harmless. I had to obey, but that person is harmless. So Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he approached that person. He asked, how do you feel when you see all these mental people doing weird activities around you? He said, of course, what would a king feel seeing his subjects behaving like that? So confirm that this person is mad. So he asked, so what's your good name? He said, why should I tell my name? You tell, what is your name? And then Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru said, well, my name is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. I am the Prime Minister of India. And then this mad guy started laughing, holding his stomach, tears flowing from his eye. He was laughing like anything. Well, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru said, I told you my name. I didn't crack a joke. Why are you laughing like this? So this mad guy said, 6 years back when I came to this place, I also used to say the same thing. That I am Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. I am the Prime Minister of India and I got here. Now is your chance. Up to the I got you. So what was wrong with this mad guy? He was identifying himself with someone whom he is not. So similarly, if I also identify myself with something or someone which I am not, so what I am then? What I am? Yeah? How do you? We have computers, Intel inside, and we have people, mental inside. Good combination. Well, anyways, alright, so that page, it's a glorious book. It's a manual of life. And so when should we read a manual? Before using the gadget or after crashing the gadget? Yeah? मैनुअल कब इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए? गैजेट को इस्तेमाल करने से पहले या उसका बेड़ा गर्क मारने के बाद? Very difficult question. Before, obviously. So Bhagavad-Gita, being manual of life, has to be used before we actually start living life, not as a fad end of life. जब मुंह में दांत ना हो, पेट में आंत ना हो, आंखों में कैटरैक्ट हो, और फिर उन कैटरैक्ट वाली आंखों से गीता पढ़ेगा, इतना मजा आता है, my God. It's a manual of life. It has to be right now. And all we are very fortunate that we have taken such a course. During college days, having formal study of the Bhagavad-Gita, which will also give you lessons how to live life and also some managerial lessons. You are so fortunate. I am 100% sure not even you know how fortunate you are. I can see and how fortunate you are. And one day you will also realize and how fortunate you are. Very fortunate. Okay, we proceed. All of you can read this. Here is a lady. She said, if only I had her figure. She's like a pumpkin. She's like a lady finger. Okay. If only I had her diamond. She doesn't have even a Mangal Sutra. So she is aspiring for a diamond necklace. This guy said, if only I had his money. I have my honey, but I don't have money to feed my honey. And this person said, if only I had his wife. Because this person doesn't like pumpkin. He likes ladyfinger. So now one question to all of you. Do we have same goals or do we have different goals? Yeah? Do we have same goals or do we have different goals? Okay, raise your hand if you believe that we have different goals. Okay, who believes that we have same goal? Great. Okay, who is confused? Alright. Okay, who is confused, whether you are confused or not? Great. Okay, anyone who would like to volunteer that we have got different goals? It's a problem of study. Right? Can I raise your hand once again? Yeah, different goals. Okay, so what's your goal?
I don't know yet.
Great, okay. You?
Say, lead a happy life.
Great, he wants to lead a happy life. Wonderful.
Combination of a lot of stuff.
Okay, but ultimately what are you seeking?
I would say success, but then again, it's difficult to define what exactly.
What if the success results in blood cancer?
Then that won't be happy life.
Yes, exactly. Very nice word. Anyone else would like to share what's the goal of their life? Should we have goals or not? Of course. Have you seen a football match where there is no goal post? And people are playing very enthusiastically. But there is no goal post. For penalty corner is no but there is no goal post. Is it a very meaningful match or a meaningless match? Yeah? It's a meaningless match. So you must have goals, right? So his goal is to lead a happy life. Anyone else would like to share? This side? Anyone? Goal? You guys have some goal, right? Is it goal? Is it ellipse? Is it hyperbola, parabola? Some goal? Anyone? Here we have sages. Okay. We have santas. We have sages here. Okay, great. All right. We all, of course, we have same goal. Through different goals, through different paths, we all ultimately want to be happy. That's it. We want to be happy. And that is success. If I am happy, that person is actually successful. If someone is thirsting, yearning, he may have everything. But actually speaking, it's all useless. Because he's still thirsty. Right? So real goal of life is to be happy. But how do we become happy? Do things make us happy? If I give an equation, physical comfort is equal to happiness. True or false? Truly, you are sages. Yeah, physical comfort is equal to happiness. I'm having a Jaguar, comfortable seating, first class air conditioner, nice sound system, and a highway, and then you are seamlessly going. Yes, no? No? Yeah?
It's only for some time.
That's true for some time. Of course, there are many other factors that contribute to our success as well as happiness. There are many other factors. Usually we chase or we seek pleasure in things. Right? For example, somebody is having Rajma Chawal as one's favorite thing. It gives you, yeah, sure, I love it. So good. Achha. If I give you 2 kgs of Rajma Chawal, of course, why not? With one's incredible power of digestion, one may digest that as well. And then 5 kgs of more Rajma Chawal. And then by Guinness Book of World Records for our digestive power, digest it. Good. 10 kgs of Rajma Chawal. Now, what is the food which this person will hate the most? Now, we all kuch there again. Right? So, things they have happiness, then they should give us happiness always. A very beautiful example comes in Mahabharata. Once Lord Krishna was taking rest and Duryodhana and Arjuna, they decided that they should go and ask Lord Krishna. Because Lord Krishna was also there and then he also had his Narayani Sena. Okay. So either somebody can opt for Lord Krishna or somebody can opt for the Narayani Sena. They are uncomfortable. So Duryodhana came and he sat next to the head of the Lord. Okay. And Arjuna also came after some time, but he sat next to the lotus feet of the Lord. As Lord Krishna, in his Yoga Nidra, as he woke up, so whom did he see first? Arjuna. He said, hey Arjuna, how are you doing? How are you doing? Please tell me how can I serve you? Duryodhana said, excuse me, I came first. The Lord said, but I saw Arjuna first. But Duryodhana was very stubborn. No, first, you should listen to me. So Lord said, no, first I will listen to Arjuna because he has come first. And I know both of you have come here to opt either for me or for my Narayani Sena. So Arjuna said, you can ask Duryodhana whatever he wants. Duryodhana said, of course, what will I do with this coward boy? Useless fellow. I want his Narayani Sena. I want the things, not the person. Alright. And Arjuna said, yes, of course, my lord, I want you. I want you, I don't want an Narayani. I want you. But Lord said, I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight. Still, do you want me? Arjuna said, of course, I want you. Relationships valued more than things. And then Arjuna got Lord Krishna and Duryodhana got the Narayani Sena. But who was victorious at the end? Yeah? Yeah, the Pandavas. So we also value sometimes valuables more than the values. Right? Like Ram's kingdom is like that. Lord Ram's kingdom is that where values are valued more than the valuables. And in Ravana's kingdom, the valuables are valued more than the values. That's not Soni Ki Lanka. And those who are object-oriented, project-oriented, not people-oriented, they are after things. And they even use people as the resource. That's in corporate cycle, they call even people as resource. Human resource. HR. Sometimes devotees they call HR as Hare Rama as well. HR. But as HR, human resource. Humans are also just a resource. Is it a great idea to be treated just like a resource, a commodity? Yes, no? Of course not. But that's the kind of culture. So that is, here we have to learn that the success doesn't lie in things. Success lies in relationships. Yeah? So those who are after things, they remain dissatisfied. Things cannot make us happy. चीजों में खुशियां नहीं है, चाहे वो अमूल चीज हो या ब्रिटानिया चीज हो, चीज से खुशी तो मिलेगी और आगे तो टेम्पररी होगी. And there are many other factors that contribute to that. Okay, so this we are done with that. Okay. Interesting. Management principle of inner fulfillment. It is very important for a manager or a leader that there should be spiritual substance in the heart. Very important. Very, very important. Can you see this? Here's the donkey. When a donkey sees the carrot, so he understands by walking 2 steps towards the carrot, I'll get the carrot inside my mouth. 2 steps forward. But the carrot also moves forward. And this way he keeps moving, but the carrot doesn't enter his mouth. And this way the donkey remains dissatisfied. Yeah. Similarly, in corporate sector as well, when somebody is working, somebody wants to be, say someone is on the level of manager, and then one wants to become a senior manager. Why someone wants to grow? To be satisfied. Once I'll be there, I'm done. Right? So someone from manager becomes a senior manager. Okay, but why are you growing? For satisfaction, right? Satisfaction? Achha, if you are satisfied, can you grow? So say no to satisfaction. Grow further. From senior manager, say you become the board of directors. But why are you growing? For satisfaction, right? For satisfaction. But if you are satisfied, can you grow? So say no to satisfaction. Grow further. Okay. Say you become a COO. Why are you growing? For satisfaction. But if you are satisfied, can you grow? No. So say no to satisfaction. Become a chairperson. And then move from one company to another company without any satisfaction. The carrot of satisfaction doesn't enter the heart. And person keeps moving. So that is a life in the corporate sector is a life of a donkey. Corporate life is a donkey life. Which all of you are preparing right away. So you should not enter. Now. So now what next after IIM? Because we just discovered that corporate life is a donkey life. I work there. I see the donkey life, multi-level donkey life. So should we not enter the corporate life? No, it is not like that. It is not the place where we are working makes us a donkey. It is the attitude which we carry while working makes us a donkey. What kind of attitude? And good attitude comes by good purpose. Good purpose comes by good association. And in this way, even though when we are working, but what kind of mindset and what kind of perceptions are we carrying while working makes us either a donkey or a gentleman. The attitude. Attitude comes from purpose. And purpose comes from association. And association are the one which give us values. They are the ones that give us values. So that is the one who is always thirsting. He's thirsty, he is yearning. That this person may grow, but this person will always remain dissatisfied. There is a saying that if I do not have spiritual content in my heart, I am slave of my surroundings. I repeat, if I do not have spiritual substance in my heart, I am a slave of my. Is it good to be a slave of our surroundings? Being slave of circumstances, being slave of people around us? Is it good to be a slave? Yes, no? Loudly? No. Thank you. So that is spirituality. It is a must. It is very important. Who has ever made halwa or has seen halwa being made? Raise your hand. Okay, so the person who is making halwa, does that person make halwa by being inside the kadhai or stands outside the kadhai to make halwa? Huh? Have you seen anyone who is also standing in the kadhai and then making halwa and finally himself becomes halwa? Huh? Logically speaking, we have to stand outside the kadhai so that I can make a nice halwa. right? So similarly, we all have material life, but material life is to be led in a materialistic way or in a spiritual way. That is a choice. That is a choice. And there are the alphabets B, C, D. B stands for birth, D stands for death, and in between there is letter C. C stands for choices. C stands for choices. So we have a choice to make the halwa by being in the kadhai or being outside the kadhai. Right? So we can take up our material life in a better way when we have a standing of spiritual life. When people do not have the standing on spiritual life, they try to make halwa of their material life by being in the material life. And ultimately they also become So it is not that spirituality is optional. It is mandatory. It is compulsory. In fact, all the solutions which are being proposed without spirituality, they are not going to work. And this is my personal experience. When we were in our final year of engineering, so our college, they organized one stress management seminar. Because as we are going to step outside college, there is going to be stress because software market is a very volatile market. So we were all obligated to attend that stress management seminar. And the person who was asked to come, he was such a charismatic person. What an orator, what a presentation. So many role plays, games, activities. Superb. So entire session was in 2 parts. Session 1, session 2, and in between there was lunch break. So when I attended session 1, I was super impressed by the person. Kya banda hai yaar. So during the lunch break, so he got down, he went downstairs, and he went to the back side of the building, took out a cigarette, and started smoking. So I said, sir, can I ask you something personal? Sir, usually people smoke when they are in stress. And you just delivered a session on stress management. So I can't connect the two, that how can a person who has delivered a session on stress management is smoking, which is an expression of stress. So he said, देखो बेटा, ये stress management seminar देते भी stress हो जाता है. ये तुम्हारे गलगोटी इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में पैसा नहीं दिया मेरा, ये आईसी इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज में पैसा नहीं दिया मेरा, अब पता नहीं तुम लोगों का कॉलेज देगा नहीं देगा. I'm in stress. That's all. So session 2 I attended, but I lost my faith in the speaker. That when his tricks are not working on him, how can they work for me? But since you were obligated to attend the entire session, so I attended the session, but I was disconnected. But yes, this question was there in my mind. And what was missing in his presentation? Such a nice presentation. He gave so many tricks also. That when you are stressed, take a smiley sponge, smiley sponge, and then press it. In this way you can burst your stress. Or you can have a bag on which you can write a name of the person for whom you are having a grudge and then punch. In this way you can spill out all that which is there inside and then be emptied and feel good. Take a reverse counting, drink water, alright. But they are not working on him. How can they work for me? So this question was ringing in my head that what was missing, what was missing, what was missing, what was missing. So this question I boarded the bus and I used to do that after the college. I used to go to the Hare Krishna temple in East of Kailash in Delhi. I used to go to the temple. But this question was there. What was missing? What was missing? So as I bowed down before the deities of the Lord, immediately the answer was inspired that what was missing? God was missing. It was such a deep, penetrating, overwhelming realization that without God, all this stress management, anger management, conflict management, change management is going to be a fruitless, hard labor just because of the absence of God and His grace. In an atheistic way, if I try to burst my stress, anger, conflict, etc., it is going to be fruitless for sure. And that's why we stress so much on the grace of the Lord. Very, very important. The blessings, the grace, is an insurance policy. It's an insurance policy. For an insurance policy, we have to get EMI as well, right? The EMI is selfless service. So when we give regular installments of selfless service, we attract the grace, the blessings. And that's really miraculous. And because it is very subtle, and that's why, being subtle, they are not in the management books. But they work. Blessings, they really work. So that way, spirituality should not be taken as option. Then we can, you'll see, I'll try to be spiritual. And of course, one thing is that being spiritual does not mean wearing this ward or this kind of clothing and then you claim to be spiritual. Spirituality is not clothes deep, it is attitude deep. What kind of perceptions do I carry? How do I think? What is my thought process? Whom do I associate with? That is what decides that whether I am spiritual or not. So it is not clothes deep. If there are people who wear these clothes but they are not at all spiritual, right? And that's why the sadhu samaj, now we don't see sadhus as with that respect as we used to earlier. The sadhu and sabadmash. All are the same. Nefarious, cheaters, hoaxers, all that. So not everyone in this cloth can be spiritual and need not, and it's also not necessary that one who is in jeans and shirt be materialistic. Because it's all about the internal cultivation. Like that. So that phase, it is very important for a manager to have inner fulfillment. If I am not fulfilled within, I cannot nourish the lives of those who have taken shelter of me. Because the one who is unfulfilled, he is always insecure. And the one who is insecure cannot empower others. Can an insecure leader empower others? Yes, no? So inner fulfillment is very, very important. Like when we are working on some, do sometimes we go offline? Or we are always online? Sometimes we have to go offline. In order to be online throughout our life, we have to go offline. So similarly, when we are working, when we are working to fulfill our duties, we should also go offline sometimes. For inner fulfillment, for inner content. If we don't do that, we will live a hollow, shallow life. Smiling faces, crying hearts. That kind of civilization we will become part of. Plastic smiles. Once I was flying in Emirates and there was one air hostess, bright smiling face. She said, good evening sir, would you like a veg knowledge sir? Bright smile. I said, no thank you, I have my stuff. Thank you very much. So after some time, when I went just to relieve myself, feel easy. So when I went towards the toilet, restroom, the same air hostess, she was weeping. Why me again? Why me again? I was loyal to him. Why the hell he did to me? Weeping. Yeah, back then. So I came back and I opened my Bhagavad-Gita and started reading. The same air hostess came to the next seat. Good evening, sir. Would you like to veg knowledge, sir? Bright smile. But a dry smile. A dry smile. So what's the use of masking ourselves with artificial smiles when inside we are dry? So inner fulfillment has to be there. To live a normal life. Live a normal life and a life which can contribute to others. In other people's lives. So inner fulfillment is very important. Being a human being, being a manager, being a leader, very important. Very, very important. Alright, so there is a difference between a boss and a leader because sometimes we take the two as same. The boss is a leader and the leader is a boss. Right? Anybody would like to give any input regarding what's the difference between a boss or a leader? Are they same? Are they different? This picture says something. What do you learn from this picture? Anyone? Oh, great stages. Anyone? Here is the boss and here is the leader.
Also, doesn't have empathy with the people who are following.
Very true. Yes, that's true. He is just there ordering. He's just there ordering. You do what I say. He acts like a ruler. And he identifies himself with the title. Title is gone, everything is gone. And he takes the credit of success. And he blames for the failures. That's the boss. He is very dominating. He is a dictator. And he creates terror by his position. But the leader is the one who always seeks to serve. Okay. And during happy times, he hides himself. And during difficult times, he is there to face the challenge. He doesn't say I, he says we. Okay. He is very selfless. And he is not title seeking and title dependent. He just seeks to serve. That's it. That's the difference between boss and the leader. Boss is the one who is always exploiting. Like Ravan, he used his subjects, even their lives, to fulfill his motives, his desire, his passionate desire. He said, Marichan, then go and lure Sita so that I can get Sita. Even though he knew that Marichan would die in this entire operation. But even for that he was ready because his passionate desires, they were dominating his intelligence. On the contrary, there is Lord Ram. When Jatayu, he fought for Lord Ram. And he was about to take his final breath. And Lord Ram, when he saw Jatayu, Lord Ram said, I'll give you your life back because you served me so selflessly. Even though externally speaking, you were a failure. But still, I would like to bless you by giving you life back. I'll cure all your wounds. And then Jatayu said, no, my dear Lord, please don't do that. This is such a glorious death. I am taking my final breath in the arms of my Lord, chanting His holy names and admiring His beautiful transcendental spiritual form. How can there be more glorious death than this? Oh Lord, let me die. I don't want to live because this is most glorious. I rendered service to you and then I am taking my final breath in your arms, admiring your beautiful face, chanting your holy name. This is most glorious. So Lord Ram is a leader who wants to revive people and Ravan is the kind of leader who wants to exploit people. So leader is one who doesn't exploit, he serves. Leader is the one who seeks advice even from his subjects. And Lord Ram would take advice even from Vibhishan. There was one demon. He was very, in Ramayana, there was one demon. And then these people these monkey army, they are very, they are very fiery and they are fighting like great warriors. Okay, let me play the trick. There are devotees of Ram. I'll write Ram Nam on my entire body. Ram, 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 Ram. And then he created havoc in the monkey army. Because as soon as monkey would like to attack, Lord Ram's name is written, how can I attack? So none of the weapon was fruitful. Okay, and then he would slash that person, that monkey. In this way, he was creating havoc in the world. So Lord Ram came to know that such and such demon has been sent by Hanuman. So Lord Ram, as he was also about to shoot an arrow, he said, oh, my name is here. How can I shoot an arrow? Because my name is here. And my name is not different from me in potency that is I can't. Okay. So then he took advice from Vibhishan. Even though being the Lord, he is omniscient, he knows everything. Even then, he is taking advice from Vibhishan. Hey Vibhishan, there is such and such demon. And he is having my holy name all over his body. So what should I do? And then Vibhishan said, oh Lord, though you know everything, but yes, in service to you, let me tell you that there are two places your holy name is not there. One, the tongue. He's not chanting your names. He's just saying, there is no holy name on the tongue. And the heart as well. So you can shoot an arrow on his tongue. And then from the tongue, let that arrow go to his heart. And then finish him off. Then thank you, Vibhishan, for your advice. And he took an arrow, he shot an arrow, tongue, heart, finish. Took an advice. On the other hand, when Vibhishan, he advised Ravan, he said, shut up, you. I know what is right, what is wrong. Who are you to advise me, you fool? So boss doesn't take an advice. But a leader is always open to advice, to feedback. Lord Ram is such an ideal leader. That's the difference between boss and a leader. Boss means a boss man, stay. But leader is always inspiring. Okay. So leadership is beyond position. And here is another example of leadership which is beyond position is of Lord Krishna. He has become a chariot driver. Lord Krishna, he is mentioned in the scriptures to be the supreme absolute truth. The supreme creator, the supreme master, the supreme maintainer, the supreme controller, the supreme enjoyer. He is that as per the scriptures. Okay. All the Marutas, Adityas, the demigods, the sages, they glorify Lord Krishna with choice poetry. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. He is glorified like that with so many verses. Adi Ante Madhyecha Hari Sarvatra Gete. In the beginning, in the end, in the middle, Lord Hari is glorified everywhere. This glorious personality has taken the job of a chauffeur, of a chariot driver. Now, how humbling can it be to be a chariot driver? When somebody is riding on a chariot, at that time, the warrior cannot communicate to the chariot driver by speaking. You can say, chariot driver, right. Chariot driver, left. Chariot driver, straight. Chariot driver, stop. He cannot do that because there is so much noise all around that the person cannot communicate by speaking. So how does he communicate? He communicates by kicking. If he communicates on the right shoulder, that means now move the chariot to the right side. If he kicks on the left shoulder, that means now move chariot towards left side. Center means now you have to stop. And this happened for 18 days. Mahabharata was there for 18 days. And Lord Krishna, he was ready to be kicked, that supreme absolute truth, the supreme personality, the supremely beautiful personality. This person is ready to be kicked by the warrior, the devotee of course, Arjuna, for 18 days. How many of us can take this such a humble position that someday you become, say, a CEO of a company, and then you ask the chauffeur that today I'll drive the car and you sit backside. In case you want me to make the car turn left, you slap me on my left cheek. In case you want me to turn to right, then slap me on my right cheek. And in case you want me to stop the car, then pull my hair. How many of us would do it for 18 days? Okay, 18 days. 18 minutes. Of course, driver will also have good time. Today I'll take revenge full-fledged. This person always underpaid me. Would you do that? Yes? No? Loudly? No. But see this leader, the Supreme Absolute Truth, Krishna, he has taken such a humble position. And such a humble position, the things which he is doing, he is actually a game changer. Entire Mahabharata took a different turn altogether just because of this person, known as Krishna. Yeah? But what kind of position does he have? No position. No position. So that is when our motivations, our desires, our aims, our plans are executed only as per the title. We cannot do much. But Lord Krishna is such an excellent example of a leader who is not after titles. He is just after service. And when we do service, we influence people. And leadership is nothing but influence. There are people who are imposing themselves on others, telling them, I am a boss. You should listen to me. They are imposing themselves. In this way, they are ruling the people. And there are also people, they don't have any kind of leadership position. But yet they are leaders of that community. Because by their behavior, by their feelings, and by their dealings, they touch everyone's heart. And there is one more quality of the leader, that first he touches the heart, and then he asks for the hand. A boss is a person who doesn't go by the heart. He just wants the hand. Give me your hand, come on, we have to do the task, huh? We have to meet the goal, the quality parameters, everything, come on. But the leader is the one who first touches the heart. And people first they sell themselves to the personality of the leader and then to the vision of the leader. Very important. The man of talent. Man of talent. Once Menaka Gandhi, she was traveling in a flight and she was traveling with one of my spiritual masters. And she knew that the Hare Krishnas, they do not plant a single tree. She knew that. So in a taunting way, of course not in a wide way, but in a taunting way, in a joking way as well, she said, so Swamiji, so what are you doing for the ecology? Are you doing something for the ecology? So my spiritual master said, actually we work on the inner ecology. Because the inner ecology is out of balance, that's why the outside ecology is seen to be out of balance. So that's why we work on the inner ecology. If the inner ecology will come to balance, so outside ecology will reflect also to come to balance. So we work on inner ecology. And Menaka Gandhi, she is an intelligent lady. She understood. She said, yes, Swamiji, I got a point. I think we should work together. I work on outside ecology, you work on inner ecology, and this way our teamwork can actually change this world. So inner ecology is very important. Like Martin Luther King used to say, now we have got guided missiles in the hands of misguided men. This is very unfortunate. Right? And nowadays we have so many weapons which can destroy an entire world. Just one sunky mad scientist pressing a button and then so much of devastation can happen. Right? Like recently India-Pakistan relationship became so bitter that anything would happen. And that would so much harm the rest of the world. That is, values are so important. And values are there in the leader. Leader personifies values. Values. If I don't have value, then I may become boss, who is praised by people in this person's presence. That, sir, you are so amazing, sir. Sir, you are so efficient, sir. Sir, you have done everything, sir. Sir, ma'am, this, that. But in this person's absence, khachar aadmi. Ekdam dakka hai. Useless. I am planning to change my job. So Lord Krishna is an example. He is an example where he touches the lives. And leader is a person who touches lives. Everyone's life. Everyone's life. So Lord Krishna, when he was there on the battlefield, and so both the armies were ready on both the sides. And there was also one nest on the battlefield. One sparrow with her eggs. And she was feeling astonished that how come so many people have assembled at this place? Now what will happen to my eggs? And then there was uproarious sound of the conch shell from one side. And then more uproarious sound of the conch shell from the other side. And she could see that the eggs were shaking. What these guys are going to do now? What will happen to my eggs? And then two people on a chariot came and stood next to this sparrow. And they started talking to each other. And then Sparrow was saying, oh my God. She didn't know that she was talking to God. Oh my God. What these two people are going to do with my eggs? Oh God, please spare my eggs. She didn't know that she is actually praying to God. And then after having 45 minutes of conversation, and she could see that these two are not listening. I am telling, please listen to me. Then these two are not listening. And then this chariot of Arjuna and Krishna went back. And then war ensued. As war started, so Lord Krishna, he told Arjuna, he said, Arjuna, can you see that bell hanging around the neck of the elephant? Yes. Shoot an arrow. He said, not to the elephant, not to the warrior, but to the bell. Oh yeah, but I told Krishna that, oh, Karishya Vachanam Tava, that whatever you will say, I'll do that. He shot an arrow on the bell. And then it fell on the nest, around the nest. And the bell was so heavy that it actually it got inside the ground a couple of inches. Fixed. And then the war happened for 18 days. And because the hot blood of the Kshatriyas was also flowing, so this hot blood created some kind of warmth inside the well. So 18th day, when Ashwatthama was escaping from the ground, from the battlefield, the axle of his chariot, it hit the well and opened the well. Partially open. And then some chickens, they came out. Ching, 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 ching. And the bird, she was waiting. She was there. No, my eggs, my eggs, my eggs. After 18 days, she would see that these are my chickens. They are my chickens. So Lord Krishna is a leader who takes care of everyone. Even animals. Now this is extreme of good leadership. We can't do this. We can't go to this extent. But Lord Krishna is like that. He's an extraordinary example of a leadership which doesn't seek title. At such a humble position. And he was changing game. He was changing the entire game of Mahabharata. Where to follow the rule and where to break the rule. To follow the higher rule. He was doing that. He was doing that. So that is, Lord Krishna is an excellent example of leadership beyond position. Beyond position. Alright, so what are the qualities you expect in an ideal manager or an ideal leader? Should I go back to the question? Yeah? What are the qualities you expect in an ideal manager or an ideal leader? Yeah? Let's start from this group. Yes. Empathy. Yes. Very good. This group, yeah.
Vision.
Huh?
Vision.
Vision. Very important. Yes, vision. What else? This group?
Courage.
Courage, yes. What else? Okay. So being a leader, I need three things. I need skills, I need knowledge, as well as values, right? If I'm missing any one of them, I should try to get that thing, that which is missing. So let's try to see what is a value, what is knowledge, and what is skill. Empathy. Vision. Yeah. Skill as well as value. So how much percentage goes to the values? Which one gets the maximum amount of percentage? So leader should have certainly knowledge, should certainly have skills, but most important is, in fact it is said that if you want to test someone's character, give him power. If somebody is downtrodden and then this person is humble, big deal. If somebody is having power and then being humble, that's a test of character, right? And that's why a leader must have certainly two things. He must have two things. One is vision, second is character. But if he has to compromise among the two, he may compromise vision, but never ever character. Never ever character. In that case, we see that the qualities which we seek to have and also we seek in others to have is that we should have values. Values. And currently our education system, it gives skills and knowledge, but unfortunately, very less values. And that's why we have guided missiles, but misguided men. Values are very important. If you are left inside a room which is filled with barking dogs, can we be happy? Yeah? Yes, no? No, yes? Of course not. We are happy with humans. Right? So we have to first of all become a human being. And in a spiritualist, a good human being is automatically there. He doesn't have to separately cultivate himself to be a human being, apart from being a spiritualist. Right? Alright, so I'll stop here. We have a couple of minutes. I'll take question and answer. Anybody has any question? Yes, please.
We talked about the aerospace example.
Yeah.
That's where verses 2.14 and 2.15 came to my mind.
Very true.
So which talk about, you have to be able to control your emotions or at least not let them affect what your discharge of duties. So in the context of an air hostess, will that apply as well? I mean, it's a duty to in the end serve the passengers.
Yeah, of course. Certainly, of course, you took a very good point out of the example that she was doing her duty dutifully. But internally, she was crumbled. Right? Internally, she was broken. So, but yes, she was doing her duty nicely. That's good. But better than that is that being unaffected by the dualities of life, by the crests and troughs of life, by the hills and valleys of life, being unaffected. One should actually be like a lotus, which will come in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad-Gita. Lord Krishna gives a beautiful analogy of a lotus. The lotus is in the mud, but lotus is not of the mud, but above the mud. Similarly, we may be part of the materialistic world, but not living like a materialistic person, but above the material world. A lotus is in the mud, but not of the mud, but above the mud. Similarly, a spiritualist is in the material world, but not materially, but above the material world. So the best would have been that she is not affected. Well, she got affected, but yes, she is doing her duty. That's praiseworthy. But she should go up. She should uplift herself from being emotionally imbalanced person. Because currently she is doing that. But afterward, what she will do, you never know. Right? So internal strength is so much required. And that's why I said that those who are not having spiritual substance, they are slaves of their surroundings.
I'm a bit confused here.
Yeah,
That
sure.
if you are expected to not feel such emotions, you cannot actually have lead a material life. Because material life will give you
Yes.
some kind of
That's true. So we certainly, spirituality does not make you a stone. If happiness comes, a sad news comes, बेटा तुम्हारी माँ की मृत्यु हो गई, बेटा तुम्हारी शादी तय हो गई, it becomes a stone. So spirituality doesn't make us a stone, certainly not. It doesn't make us insensitive. So if we feel the pain, we empathize with the pain. Yet at the same time, we are not moved to the extent that we will break down completely. She was broken down. One day I sat and okay, I expected something from someone. It was an unrealistic expectation. And that's what this thing. But anyways, I pray for it. Feel the pain. But not getting affected by the pain. Pain will be there. Because we are all conscious beings. All conscious beings. But the good thing about spirituality is that when we are not spiritual, then we are hypersensitive about our own selves. We're not sensitive about others. And we are so sensitive about ourselves. I feel insulted, I feel hurt very easily. But when we become spiritually evolved, then we become sensitive about others. I hope you didn't mind. I give you an example. So this is what happens with a spiritualist. He's sensitive about others. I hope you didn't feel bad. I'm really sorry if I hurt you. I'm really sorry. No, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. This person who is spiritually evolved, he becomes sensitive about others. And the one who is not spiritually sensitive about himself. Self-absorbed, a narcissist. Any upheaval which comes in life, summers or winters, victory or defeat, profit or loss, happens. So we have to grow. We have to grow. So what she did is certainly that she was doing her duty nicely. But if she remains in this state of life, then she can do something else as well. At that time, there was another air hostess to give her a shoulder. But in case there is no shoulder, then. So we should be ready for that. Yes, please.
Based on what you just discussed, in we've got again 17 talks
Okay.
about how somebody who's self satisfied and does not need to work or does not need to be engaged in the duties of the material world
But yet he does.
but yet he does. So how does that link in with this part that we just talked about, that how a spiritual person actually feels for others and is more outside than inside?
The thing is that, he's not dependent on the world for his satisfactions. He's not dependent on the world. but yet he acts in the world to contribute. Just like a small child, he seeks everything from the father. Father, toffee. Father, toy. Father, father, father. So he says, Papa, Papa. But he is always seeking something. Whereas an elder boy, he says, Father, can I serve you? Can I go and submit the bill, electricity bill? Mother, can I purchase some vegetables for you? Father, you come from office, should I massage your feet? He is also saying, Father, Father. And the younger child is also saying, Father, Father. But they approach it different, right? So similarly, a person who is in chapter 3, verse number 70 is an elder brother. He is also saying, Father, Father. He is also acting, but to contribute. But a person who is not having enough fulfillment will always seek. Will mill that, and he always sees what kind of profit will I get. When there is one FM channel which everyone listens to, it may not be Radio Ministry. Here in Ahmedabad, do we have Radio Ministry? Radio station? Red FM? No? Okay, stages. Yeah? Here we have, right? But one FM channel everyone listens to. Do you know what FM channel is that? WIIFM. What's the full form of WIIFM? Anyone? What's in it for me? Yes. So one who is not as per chapter 3 verse 17 is, what's in it for me? In this relationship, what's in it for me? In this particular thing, what's in it for me? But the one who is as per chapter 3 verse number 17. So he seeks, what's the kind of service here for me? What kind of service do I have here? He seeks to serve. Like that. Chapter 3 verse 17 is a evolved person. Is that okay? Any other question? Yes? So I will expect that. No, I will be bombarded with questions because I am going to IIMs and I will be asked such good questions and it's going to be a very healthy discussion. But I am seeing that there are many stages here. So I'll show them this first. Okay, anybody has any question 1? Anybody has any question 2? Okay, please.
You said that
Important.
spirituality is about rising above it.
Yeah, rising above, not getting affected.
Not
Yeah.
So, I think it's a little bit paradoxical.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I give the analogy of the lotus. Lotus doesn't abandon the mud. He's there with the mud.
So, what do you exactly mean that we should then do?
Of course, there are like 2 options when we are dealing with people around us. One is to react, another is to respond. When we make our relationships more reactionary, then relationships can evaporate anytime. Under the heat of reactionary responses, we can actually play around and evaporate the relationship. On the other hand, when we are responsible in our relationships, then what happens? We nourish the relationship. For example, if a child is spoiled, is getting spoiled. One is to slap the child, which is a reactionary way of dealing with the child. Another is to work on what's wrong with this, what is the psychophysical nature of my child, and then working accordingly. Both are relationships, right? But in one, I am more reactionary. In another, I am more responsive. So we are in relationships, but of course, relationships are, it's an inherent nature of soul to have relationships. We cannot live without relationships. Even spiritualists, they also thrive for relationships. But spiritual relationships with the Lord and then for the entire world. For spiritualists, usually the leaders, spiritualists, they have renounced the world. But it's not like that. Spiritualists, for a spiritualist, entire world is his family. Not just those 4 or 5 members. They are there in the family, but now entire world is his family. Like in this room, there are many brothers and sisters I have. All of you are my brothers and sisters. You are part of my family. I am part of your family. Relationship, yes, of course. If you ask me a question, any kind of assistance, I am trying to serve you in the best possible way. Responsible. So in that case, relationships are not to be given up. We cannot live without relationships. A soul cannot live without relationships. There is all kind of aristocracy inside the room. All kind of comforts. But there is not a single person to share your heart. how long can you stay there? Like Bill Gates, he goes to a farmer's community where nobody knows that he is Bill Gates. Do you know why? Because Bill Gates, he can see that common man is more happy. They have relationships. But I, Bill Gates, everyone makes relationship with me because he says, the richest man. The richest man. They see my money and then they make relationships. I'm so lonely. I'm so lonely. So he also seeks relationship. So he goes to farmer's community. Then he says, I work in New York. But yes, I got a small piece of land here. My father gave me. So things cannot make us happy. Relationships, especially spiritual relationships with God in center, can make us happy. Alright, I'll stop here. Thank you all very much. You are a very wonderful audience.
Thank you so much. It was so nice of you. We got a very useful message, and I hope all of us are going to get benefited in our professional life and as well as in personal life. Thank you so much. It was really nice. I love you.
Hare Krishna.